Dear students, today we're going to continue our topic of statistics, and in our lesson today I'm going to speak about the pie chart. Okay, so our objective for this lesson is going to be to learn how to draw and interpret a pie chart. How to draw and interpret a pie chart. Okay, so that's going to be our objective for today. Now, as we have seen in our previous lessons, a pie chart can be used to display both discrete and continuous data, and the pie chart is ideal if our data is divided into 3 to 5, 3 to 6 different groups. So let's start by having a set of data. For example, I have asked some children about their favorite type of film. So type of films and number of pupils, frequency. And there were some which liked drama films, comic films, adventure films, family, and horror films. There were 7 who said they liked drama, 10 who liked comic films, 15 who liked adventure films, 8 who liked family films, and there were 2 who liked horror films. Now, that is my data. Let's close that in a box. So, to be able to construct, so I need to construct a pie chart. To be able to construct a pie chart, I need more information. In fact, from our table, what we need to do is this. First of all, I need to find the total. So what is the total of the number of pupils I have interviewed? So I have 10, 25, 35, and 7, 42. So in this case we have 42 pupils. And I need to find the angle of the pie chart. Now, the angle is found by using the value divided by the total times 360 degrees. So in the first case, the angle is going to be 7 on 42 times 360, and you work it out. Okay, this is 10 on 42 times 360, and we work it out. This is 15 on 42 times 360, and we work it out. Where need be, we give our answers to one decimal place. This is 8 on 42 times 360, and this is 2 on 42 times 360. I'm going to work them out so that we can get the angles. Okay, so I have 7 on 42 by 360, that is 60 degrees, it's a round number. Okay, 10 on 42 times 360, which gives me an angle of 85.7 degrees. Then I have 15 on 42 times 360, which gives an angle of 128.6 degrees. Then I have 8 on 42 times 360, which gives an angle of 68.6 degrees. And the last one is an angle of 17.1 degrees. You should always add the total so that you make sure that you've got 360 degrees. It's quite normal that when you have one decimal place, the angle will be 360.1 or 359.9 degrees, because rounding up or down makes a slight difference. So we have found all the angles now, and that's important. Now we need to draw the pie chart. So what I'm going to do, first of all, we need to mark the center where the pie chart will be drawn. Take our compass. Okay, you have to use a radius of about 5 centimeters. Draw the circle. Take your ruler. Start horizontally or vertically. It doesn't make a lot of a difference. But then you have to use your protractor and work out clockwise or anti-clockwise. So I'm going to use my protractor. And I'm going to start from there. Okay, I'm going to use clockwise, an anti-clockwise dimension. So I'm going to start from 0. This is my 0, okay, here. So I have 60 degrees, the first angle. This is 60. Okay, that was 60 degrees, my first one. Then I had an angle of 85.7. So my 0 now comes on the red line, and I find 85.7, which is 86 degrees, rounded up to the nearest whole number. Okay, so that is 86. Note that 0, 10, 20, 30, 60, 70, 80. This is 85 and 86. I place my 0 again on the new line. Now I need to find 128.6 degrees, meaning 129 degrees. I start from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 129 is here. And that's 129 degrees. Now I need an angle of about 69 degrees. So the 0 lies on my new line. Now I find 69 degrees. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So this is 69 degrees. And finally, I have an angle of 17 degrees, which is an automatic angle. I just checked that it is 17 degrees. In fact, it is 17 degrees. So that is correct. I remove the protractor. And I need to label my pie chart. So how do I label my pie chart? By writing out what each sector represents. So I have drama here. I have comic here. I have adventure here. This is family. And this is horror. And that is the pie chart, which demonstrates visually, in the form of a pie, how the students in my class liked films. Okay, so that's the way how to draw and construct a pie chart. Okay, there is no need to write down the angles, because they are normally written down with a table or in a provided space. It's not useful to write them down in the pie chart. It will be too crowded, but it is very important to write down what each sector represents. Always work in clockwise or anti-clockwise when drawing, and remember that the protractor has to be moved to 0, a new 0 every time you draw a new line, as I've done in the video. Okay, so that is how to draw the pie chart. Normally it's the simplest part. It is usually in exams. It varies in marks from 5 to 10 marks, depending on the level of difficulty of the chart. Now, sometimes we need to interpret a pie chart. So, for example, and I'm going to give an example. So, let's suppose we have the following pie chart. Here some people were asked from where they get their music, and as we can see, some people get their music from iTunes, some from an online downloader, and we have a big section here. Some go and buy it from a shop, and some say they have other means of getting their source of music. As we can see from this pie chart, and it's written here, the evidence from the pie chart shows that the most popular place where people got their music supply was an online downloader. The second most popular was iTunes, and all the other categories, however, still had people purchasing from them. Therefore, this pie chart shows a clear variation in music supplies. Now, that is what the visual side gives us. Then, there is the mathematical side. For example, if I tell you that 200 people use iTunes, how many people were interviewed? Number 1. Let's see. First of all, I want to know what is the angle representing iTunes. Because here I don't have any angles, so I'm going to use my protractor. And as we can see, iTunes is used by 90%. iTunes is used by 90% of the correspondence. Almost 90, slightly more. It is slightly more than 90. In fact, it is 92 degrees. So we can say that 92 degrees represents 200 people. Because we found that the angle for iTunes was 92 degrees. Okay? So, how many people were interviewed? The whole pie chart, which represents 360 degrees. That's equal to how many people? That's a statement, so it's 200 times 360 divided by 92. Always, since these are people, we need to give our answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, so don't give decimal places in case they are people. Okay, it doesn't make sense. And this is equal to 783 persons. I can then also ask how many people download their music. How many people download their music? Again, we need first to measure the angle representing the download. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this so that my 0 lies on the line. Okay, 0 lies on the line. And the angle representing downloads, in my case, is 165 degrees. So downloads is represented by an angle of 165 degrees. So I'm going to use the first angle, which I know is correct. So I'm going to say 92 degrees was equivalent to 200 people. So 165 degrees is equivalent to how many people? It's not advisable to use the 783 persons which you found before, because if that was wrong, we would continue to get the whole problem wrong. So I have 200 times 165 divided by 92. Again, we need to give our answer as a whole number. Okay, so we work it out and we get an answer of 359 people, alright, persons. Okay, so that's one way how to interpret a pie chart. Now, sometimes we'll have two pie charts or a pie chart and a bar graph which we need to interpret, okay, and I'm going to give an example. So, for example, let's look at this picture here. We have two types of charts here. We have a bar chart, a bar graph, and we have a pie chart. The bar graph shows the fish caught in tons in the years 2010 to 2014. So this was a survey done between fishermen to see how much fish is being caught every year. For example, in 210, 160 tons of fish was caught. In 211, In 2011, 120 tons. In 2012, 180. In 2013, 220 tons. And in 2014, only 100 tons of fish was caught. And then there is a pie chart which shows us that in 2013, the fish caught was as follows. There were some bogue, tuna, dolphin fish, and other types of fish. So I can ask you to use the two graphs, for example, to find how many tons of tuna fish was caught in 2013. So, from the whole graph, I'm interested in 2013. So, 2013 is my primary source of information, and I know that in 2013, 220 tons of fish was caught. Now, I also know that in 2013, this amount of tuna was caught. So I'm going to find the angle which represents tuna. So I'm going to use my protractor. 0 on one of the lines. And we measure the angle. Okay? And that is an angle of 83 degrees. That is an angle of 83 degrees. I have 0, right? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, and 3 degrees. So I can say the following. I can say that $83 out of 360 is the share for tuna in 2013. But in 2013, 220 tons of tuna was caught. So 83 out of 360 of 220 tons is the amount of tuna being caught. So tuna caught in 2013 was 83 on 360 times 220, which gives a value of 50.72 tons. Okay, so it's 50.72 tons of tuna was caught in 2013. And we can do the same for the rest. Okay, we can do the same for this. I can know how much dolphin fish was caught. I first measure the angle for dolphin fish and then use that information as we have done for tuna to find the amount of dolphin fish which was caught in 2013. So, as we have seen in this lesson, we can be asked to draw a pie chart or interpret a pie chart. If we're drawing a pie chart, we have to fill in a table, we have to find the angle, and then draw the pie chart. In other cases, I have to normally measure the angle and use that information to be able to answer my questions. So that is our lesson for today about pie charts. I hope you have understood. Have a good day. See you in the next lesson.